Hello, YouTube. It is me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to House of Horrors Movie Month. And tonight I'm talking about a 2006 horror psychological thriller from director John Stockwell, featuring an not an all-star cast, but some young actors that you may recognize from other films, and that is the movie Turistas, aka I guess that's Portuguese for tourists. Yeah, that's all I'm guessing. I don't speak Portuguese. Basically, this is the film's. This is the unrated version, by the way. Rising star Josh Duhamel. This is him in the early 2000s before he did Transformers. Leads a group of young backpackers who find themselves stranded on a remote Brazilian beach. An exotic paradise with warm sunshine, cool ocean breezes, and plenty of hot potties, and lots of waterfalls. But after a night of partying, as always, the wayward touristas are drugged and robbed. Yeah, like in a freaking what's his name? Eli Roth movie. But this is way better than any Eli Roth movie. I'd rather watch this than Hostel. The wayward touristas are drugged and robbed, and their dream vacation becomes a gruesome nightmare. Trapped and desperate, the vulnerable travelers are lured deep into the menacing jungle and beyond, where a dark and twisted fate too terrifying to imagine awaits them. Yeah, basically they're in Brazil and they get captured in like freaking like cages like animals, and they want to like psyching become make them drug mules or whatever because they're selling drugs in Brazil. And the shots in the movie are good of Brazil. There's some problems with the movie though. I will say that. Not the lead cast. Josh Duhamel and Olivia Wilde are fine in the movie. I have no problems with them whatsoever. They're both attractive people. They play brother and sister, and they can act, and they really carry this movie for 93 minutes in a theatrical cut. An unrated cut is only 2 minutes longer, so it's not much. My problem with the movie is some of the side characters. Melissa George, didn't care about her in this movie. The freaking Brazilian actors that are in this movie are just there. They serve no purpose to me. As a person that's not a big fan of foreigners, yeah, I kind of didn't care about them. Just like I didn't care about them in Fast Five. Uh, this other guy, Desmond Askew, this British guy, I don't give a shit about him. I do like Boo Garrett because she also did. She's the other girl in the movie. She was in Tron Legacy with Olivia Wilde, so I like her. But I didn't give a shit about any of the other characters. The villain is a lame Brazilian guy that does like he likes to freaking operate on people and he takes this woman's liver out, and it's really graphic. So if you don't eat while you watch this movie because you might get sick, and especially in that scene. And yeah, but he's not a very threatening villain, and they get the best of him at the end. There's this Native American guy with a gun. I don't give a shit about him. So yeah, the some of the side characters are just weak, really weak. The bright spots are the two leads. The location, the movie shot very well. John Stockwell does a good job with the gore is insane. Like the movie has a ton of gore in it. There's more gore in this movie than the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that's not bullshit. Because this movie, this guy gets he gets his head caved in, and they have to staple his head with a freaking stapler gun. That never happened in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Any of them, even the second one, or the remake, or the reboots, or the freaking prequel. Yeah, but it's not a classic. But I do like the film. I do think it's fast paced. It's not too long. It doesn't drag in Brazil for so long. I mean, my problem with Brazil is, like I said, that I have to read subtitles. Sometimes they speak Portuguese. I don't know what the fuck they're saying, and they think yelling is acting. And I'm sorry, they're like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, remember the scene in The Incredible Hulk that he's in Brazil? Yeah, I didn't give a fuck about that scene either. The only scene why I cared about that movie only in that scene was because of Edward Norton, trying to find a cure for his disease. That's it. The women and the children and the freaking old people, I could give a rat's ass about them. I've never been to Brazil, and I'm not planning on going there on vacation anytime soon. There's some crazy things that they do, like they jump off of this cliff into these rocks, into these freaking waterfalls and underground caves, and it is intense. There's some tension in the movie, so it's not scary, but it does have some gruesome moments that make you like cringe. And even though the movie is from 2006, is a lot better than half of the horror movies that came out in this decade. All these remakes and jump scares with booga 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 like the Nun and freaking Annabelle. Yeah, those are not for me, guys. They're not scary. I'm happy that the horror genre is doing well this in this decade. Recently, because you've had The Conjuring, you've had It Follows, and the new Halloween did very well, so that's good. Because the horror genre is overlooked a lot by critics. They say, "Oh, this is trash. This is just torture porn." It's not torture porn. There are some things, there are some moments where that make you squirm, but this is not a Serbian film. This isn't Martyrs. This is not Hostel 2. This is not freaking like Green Inferno or Cannibal Holocaust. It's not that. It's not so intense. Or what's another one? Uh, oh, I Spit on Your Grave. Either the original or the remake. No, there's no rape in this movie. Mercifully, there's no rape because I hate rape in any movie. It just pisses me off. It's really freaking mean spirited, and I don't need my horror mean spirited. Just entertain me. That's all I want. And this movie is entertaining. My friend Josh, if he ever comes back on Facebook and YouTube, he can vouch for me that this movie is decent. And the special features are pretty good. I heard the commentary from Stockwell is pretty good, pretty informative with him and the producer, and they made a decent film. I've seen worse movies that came out before this and after this, so the fact that this is a decent movie to watch during Halloween, and I watched it again, and I still like it. It's got some problems, my personal problems, and some that you might have, but it has a good enough story, and it's been done already, but at least it's something different. It's not just a remake of something else. But Turistas, or tourists, if you're an American person, it's a decent psychological horror thriller. So it's not as bad as the critics make it out to be, because God knows I've seen worse. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I decided to do this without a hat. I'm very tired. I've had a long day. I was at the homecoming, and yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review.